Sarah Hoyt saying that.
Hey everybody, normally we start out with news, but I don't know where our news director is. He keeps sending me messages of, I don't want to call it computer failures because iMacs are not computers. So that's the big story there. iMacs are not computers. Of course, the big breaking news for everybody that does tune in, HallowCon has been postponed till 2021. To fill the void, we will be doing a virtual show, and we are going to be doing it a lot different than all the other virtual cons you've seen. We've got ideas. I think we can make it work. We're going to attempt it. Cross our fingers. I hope it works. Let me go ahead and bring our crew in. I'm bringing Dan in first. Author Dan from, and I got him muted. Uh-oh. We got something going good here. Something is working. I'm getting word from the booth. Yeah. All right. We're going to back it down. We're going to bring up our news.
Hi. And welcome to Stupid O'Clock News. I'm Louis Lee, and this is the Stupid O'Clock Live Band Edition news. A time-honored tradition just may be gone forever from schools across America. With COVID-19, the pandemic forcing school systems to engineer ways for children to attend class from the comfort and safety of their home. What is to become of snow days? School system administrators have been coming to the realization that when COVID pops up on a campus, they just announce that the next day's classes will be held online, giving maintenance crews time to sanitize the classrooms. Now, just as easily as snow is forecast, the same thing can happen. Gone are the days when students got to stay home and play in the snow. Snow days will become the stuff of legends. Today's youngsters will tell their children and grandchildren of time long ago when TV weathermen predicted snow. Children didn't have to go to school the next day, sometimes for more than one day. The news was well received by parents. Students are not very happy, but the biggest wails are coming from the teachers. Teachers' unions are prepared to fight this expected trend, saying in a joint press release, quote, "If you take away our snow days, all we'll have left are summers, fall breaks, 2 weeks around Christmas, spring break, every federal and state holiday, 5 personal days, 20 sick days, and 15 mental health days to look forward to."
And you didn't throw it back to me.
Back to you, Joe. Oh my God.
It's
I have
going.
no idea what it took to get on the air. Oh.
Well, when you, I've already, see, you already missed it. I said our news director is having computer problems. No, I take that back. iMics aren't computers.
Oh, you dirty dog.
And we got John and our author. Oh, hold on a minute. I had to mute him because he. Oh, okay, that
You
works.
just do that for fun.
Well, it's going to be a long night.
It is, isn't it?
I don't think we're going to be seeing the little monkey doing the rim shots tonight.
Yeah.
Don't touch that line, Joe.
There's Heather. There's Heather.
Oh, wait a minute. The girly girl got special drums for the girly girl. Work out the brushes.
But
Hey, you know why he's a radio news director?
yeah. Wait.
No, not really. We don't know.
All right, but let's go ahead and bring up our special guests. Actually, we've got 2 guests tonight, which I'm very honored to have them. They are our resident authors at HallowCon. We're going to start really plugging HallowCon for the next 2 months. So y'all are going to get sick of hearing a HallowCon, but we've got great ideas. It's going to be different. Let's go ahead and bring up our guest. KT Hunter and TD Raufson. How are y'all doing?
Doing great. Great to be here.
There we go.
That intro rocks. Loved it.
Oh, the intro music?
Oh, yeah. The whole thing. I love the music. I was very impressed.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Skunk,
Thank you
get
very
on.
much.
My vision just went blurry.
Hold on a minute,
Well, Dan created our intro, our theme music.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go. I can see now. Okay.
Dan made the theme music, and Skunk made the video layout.
Mhm.
The whole
Yep.
video layout.
I
And
really enjoyed it.
if you notice, it starts out like a TV station coming on the air.
Yep.
Hang around for our outro, for our closing,
Okay.
because it will bring back some fantastic memories. But I'm going to start. I've never had y'all as a guest on any of my shows before, so I get to pop y'all with the 3 favorite questions.
Oh, great.
And I give them all to you all at once, so you can figure out, so you can wing your answers. You're going to have to wing 2 answers real quick. The questions are: who are you? What do you do? And how the heck did you get suckered into this show?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm KT Hunter, and I am one of the resident authors, as Joe said. for HallowCon, and the reason why he just can't get rid of us. We're dug in like ticks. We've really enjoyed coming to HallowCon every year. How many years now? At least 5, 6.
It's been more than that.
More than that.
Yep.
Started with his books, and then when I started publishing mine, I started bringing mine in. But we've enjoyed coming to HallowCon for many years now. It's more like a big family reunion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We tried every way possible, but it just got to the point to where it's rather to err on the side of caution.
Well, if you think about it, I have yet to be to a con that I didn't come home with con crud.
Yeah.
And this is a little more bad than con crud.
Yeah,
so
con crud can kill you.
Yeah. I totally understand. But we've been both independently publishing books for several years now. He's got several books out, and I write steampunk, starting with 20 Million Leagues Over the Sea, which is the first book in the Nemo Paradox, which is basically a mishmash sequel to The War of the Worlds and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Fortunately, they're both public domain, so I can get away with that.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Oh, yes. But it takes place about 2 decades after The War of the Worlds, the novel, not the movie, and introduces whole new characters and whole new situations. Basically, they've taken the technology that the Martians left behind when they all died, added some Nautilus technology to it, and they're taking the fight back to the Red Planet. So it's the story of the ship called the Thunderchild's Fury, which the Thunderchild in the original novel of War of the Worlds was the first steamboat that shot back and managed to kill one of the walking machines. So they named the ship Thunderchild's Fury after it. So this is a story of her crew and the captain of the ship, who has some very special qualities that would just be too much of a spoiler to give away. And the other character is a scientific spy, Gemma Llewellyn, who happens to get on board at almost the very last minute. So it's the story of taking that fight back to the Red Planet and how these two play off of each other. It's followed up by the second book, Mysterious Planet of Captain Moreau, who Captain Moreau is the captain of the Thunderchild's Fury, and his name's kind of a scientific joke after Dr. Moreau, another novel in the Wells Verne area. One of the reasons why I came up with this particular title is I always got Mysterious Island and the Island of Dr. Moreau mixed up whenever I talked about the two novels. So I decided to do kind of a mishmash of those two novels as well. It is still a follow-on to, you can tell I'm not used to being on camera, follow-on to this one, but continues adding more Wells, more Verne into this one. So those are my two novels.
So I'm T.D. Raufson, author and, overall geek. I do several different types of, I hide behind a pseudonym, so that tells you a lot about me. I've been writing for several years. I started out with my first novel, which was a fantasy novel, contemporary fantasy set in the modern era. Dragons return to our world, so things are going to be interesting when that happens. And I've got 2 novels in that series completed. I've got 4 books out now. I've just released, and the one I really want to share with you is the one that I just released, Guardian Unmasked. It's out now in print and in ebook format. It is an action-adventure fantasy. It's probably an interesting genre. Many people may not have enjoyed something in that genre. I'm a fan of action-adventure novels. They're really pulp, and I like pulp. They're plot-driven. The character doesn't change a lot, but I can't seem to stop that. So if you're looking for a good action-adventure fantasy with magic and interesting concepts, then pick up Guardian Unmasked. That's my new novel. How did I get roped into this? I don't know. Somebody told me I should probably think about doing this.
somebody sent me an email that said, "Would you like to join us?" And I'm like, "Okay." Joe's been very kind to continually have us at HallowCon every year since before he took it over, and then now since he's had it over there, we've been there every year, and we've been pleased to run panels. Usually, our ever popular Oracle at Delphi game that we do every year,
and we can make that work here.
Okay,
make it work here.
That's what we've talked about. What kind of panels would we run online? Fortunately, he's got some experience running some online classes for his job, so he's a little bit better at this than I am.
And, pretty much we would run it from behind, behind the scenes. You would ask the question, and then I'm going to demonstrate right here. Say John was the next one John's supposed to start off.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. And then there, there,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back to you to read the answer.
Okay.
We're already set up to where we can do it.
Yeah, I think the Oracle would really work well with this setup because he can still be the straight man MC. Yep. I can still be the scribe and still read it back, hamming it up, whatever the panel's answers were.
And get this, we can have, since somebody will be producing behind the scenes, we can have 10 people on screen, but we'd lose that one to producer.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have 9 people on that panel.
That would be nice. I think the biggest challenge would be finding who would want to do that, but I think we can figure that out. We've got some time.
Oh yeah, we've got 2 months.
And I also thought about, I usually do an annual trivia game as well, that's in a quiz format. We'd have to change that if you still wanted to do it. We can talk about that later.
I mean, we're going to be really pinched because we're only running one stream.
Yeah.
So it will be a little pinch on that, but we can definitely do Oracle.
Okay.
And then TD can do, his panel. And his panel would be, probably a tighter shot of him. And, and like I said, we can bring up comments. See, John's already thrown a test comment in there. See how the comment would.
Comment.
Mm-hmm.
And then, somebody has what the producer would feel would be a relevant question. They can bring it up and ask, so you can answer during the panel. It'll be just like you're doing a panel at a convention with a moderator and not, I'm sorry, this does not look good for an online convention. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the format we're using here, this format here works a lot better when you're having guests.
Right.
I like it.
I like it. Yeah, I think we can work with that, and I look forward to seeing what magic you can pull out of it. This is going to be great.
Oh, here's the thing. HallowCon's known for 24/3 or 24/2.5 or whatever.
Yeah.
We start at 3:00 on Friday and it ends on 3:00 Sunday. In the times we don't have live programming, we're actually going to stream public domain C horror movies.
Okay.
I mean, some of these don't even qualify for B. Such as a movie called Spider Baby, introducing Sid Haig.
But
do you know that name?
70 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Skunk would know it. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. We've got battery low.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why.
Don't know why.
What?
Yeah, I have to switch on the charger so I can get the color to come up on mine.
Yeah.
There we go.
What happened? The laptop go dead?
That was a operator error.
It was supposed to be plugged in and it wasn't.
Oh. I'm glad I'm not the one to screw up tonight.
Oh, you've
that
already had your share.
Isn't that technically called PEDCAC? Problem exists between keyboard and chair.
It does. It does. Yes.
It's an ID1.T.
ID1.T. ID1.T.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what has been going on in the lives of these two great authors?
We've been doing a lot of things. One of the things that we're doing is we're expanding our operation a little bit. Twin Cedars Enterprises is the organization, the publishing company behind our publishing, and we've been expanding what we're doing as an organization. We're focusing on getting the word out and the idea around individual sustainability, and that's a concept we've been thinking about for a while. And it's something that comes from my training background and what I've been working on, learning that people themselves have a sustainability and they have to maintain it and they have to pay attention to it. A lot of it comes out of this pandemic we've been going through, and I got the idea to start supporting that. But while we're doing that, we're expanding the organization to continue publishing because KT, one of the things she said was we can't focus on anything. Everything comes to us in these streams of 122 characters, or it's hard to focus on finishing an article or reading a newspaper anymore. And so we started pushing on getting back into the idea of sustained reading more, which is where our writing comes in. Now I'm working on leather working and creating more sustainable products that we're selling. So some new things coming up on our website.
Bring that up closer to the screen.
This is for my bullet journal. One of the things I started doing during this was bullet journaling as well. And he made this cover with little straps to hold it closed.
Wow.
And this is an oxblood color. It might be hard to see the color in this light, but
if you would, give me your website real quick, and you may have to spell it out.
Sure, I can. It'll be launched here shortly. We're working on getting everything launched and rebuilt. So
it's not up and running?
It's not up yet, but it will be. But it's twincedarsenterprises.com. So TWINCEDARSENTERPRISES.com.
I'm going to put this up on here because these will, we do get a lot of views well after the airing of live. So I'm going to put this up as a ticker on the bottom.
Okay, thank you.
So,
and it's going to wind up on YouTube.
And it's going to be, it's on our YouTube. Make sure I got that right.
Looks right.
Okay.
Correct.
So we'll just let that scroll across the bottom of the screen for everybody that tunes in on replays, that they can get a link and they can keep checking back to see when you go live.
Okay.
And we can throw it in there, various shows between now and the HallowCon.
Oh yeah, and I think John right now is fixing to post it on our page, Stupid O'Clock.
Well, I'll probably get it live sooner than I expected now, since we've announced. Thank you for the announcement opportunity.
Yeah, and then we can pull my blog into that as well. One of the other things that I do is I produce a monthly newsletter, and a lot of authors do that to say, here's my book, please buy my book, which I do at the very bottom of the newsletter. But I try to include articles that are interesting for readers and for writers. I mean, either one, and try to either have a guest author, another independent author, or an author whose work that may not be widely known, even if they are traditionally published. Maybe they're in a more obscure topic. Like
I actually got a recommendation for you, but finish up. I'll let you finish up, and I'm going to give you a recommendation.
Okay, I love recommendations. This month I had a special topic instead. I've been doing a lot of research on the Cold War era and the Soviet Union, because I grew up during the Cold War. The Soviet Union dissolved the same year I became legal to drink. So I kind of grew up with that. And one of the things that happened during the era was there was a lot of repression of literature. that they deemed un-Soviet, whether it was literature written outside the Soviet Union. For example, 1984, Animal Farm by George Orwell, those were banned in there, or if it was written internally like the Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. So I wrote an article describing how, even though these types of literature were repressed, people still read them through a type of transmission called samizdat. And that was basically someone would take an old typewriter or even handwrite it with carbon paper, would write out copies of these novels and disseminate them and read them. And in fact, it became so popular in the underground that there was an old joke going around. A man came home one day and his wife was typing up War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. And he was like, "Why are you typing this up? This is legal." And he said, "The kids won't read it unless it's typed." So, it was that popular.
And what is your newsletter again?
It's just the Twin Cedars newsletter.
Yeah, we publish it monthly, and it's available it'll be available on our website, as well as through links through our through subscription.
Right.
We'll make it available there as well.
People can subscribe to it, but if I send out direct links to it, you don't have to subscribe to actually look at a particular issue. I've got an archive of all the back issues on my blog, so that anyone and every time I put out a new one, I put a post on my blog with a link to it on MailChimp. So if you don't care to, have it show up in your inbox, that's okay.
Yeah.
I actually have a very small circulation, but I get a lot more people coming in looking at the link than I do subscribed. Although I do want to definitely grow my subscriber list, but I don't require it for you to read it. My point is to encourage deep, sustained reading and writing, and to introduce people to various topics and new authors that they might not normally encounter.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. And my recommendation author, he's right there off to your side, Dan L. Holofield. Yep. He just got a book on Amazon. Well, he's got quite a few on Amazon. And he just has a new one released called Abducted.
Okay.
And it's do you want to give them a quick plug on Abducted? The elevator speech on Abducted, Dan?
Okay, it's a retired Cold War era spy plane pilot who got suckered into he got drafted into the CIA, and he's semi-retired at this time, and on a dark back road in northeast Georgia, he has a fender bender with a flying saucer, winds up being taken to an alien planet, and then there is some time travel involved where he has to insist on helping go rescue a damsel in distress on a warship that is 9 miles long and packed with sudden death from every civilization on every timeline the builder has been able to access.
Oh, that sounds like it's right up my alley.
Sounds fun.
I would love to do that. I would love to have you be our guest author. We actually met several years ago at LibertyCon.
Oh yes, indeed. Oh, and I was just thinking while you were showing up your steampunk books, you and I could talk endlessly on steampunk War of the Worlds sort of adaptations.
Yeah,
okay.
Dan's a big steampunk.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I was the LibertyCon's go-to steampunk guy for so many years.
Okay, good. Oh, yeah, we could. I would love to have you as a guest author.
We enjoyed the exercise of coming up with the concept for those books together a few years ago, because we were talking through the characters, and it all started at a con. We were dressed in steampunk attire and discussing what those characters might do if they found themselves in a situation. So we really created a story around those characters to begin with, and then it grew into what it is.
We were at Dragon Con and in full steampunk regalia ate at Nikolai's on top of the Hilton. The waiters just loved us.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
We were the only people in costume in Nikolai.
What?
Or maybe they were the only people in costume.
When I could still fit into my airship captain uniform, I got welcomed everywhere I went.
Oh.
And it's nice buying beer on a Sunday morning in Atlanta and you're wearing an airship captain uniform.
I bet.
Well, the great thing about Atlanta when you're dressed like that is they really don't treat you differently. They really kind of
They're kind of
used to it. They just kind of nod and go.
As long as you're not asking for change, they're fine with it.
Right.
Yeah, if it's you can tell who's new because they're all what, and the other person goes, "It's Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Be nice, they'll tip big."
Well, this was an Anachrocon, so
Okay.
Of course, I bet
they had gotten used to a lot of people in steampunk costumes before I got there to buy my beer.
Oh yeah, at an Anachrocon, yes.
I bet the hotels in Atlanta took a bath this last weekend.
Oh Lord,
Oh.
yes.
Oh,
This
I
whole
bet they were
year.
just
I've been
tumbleweed.
taking a bath all year.
I saw one report that businesses said the loss of Dragon Con could be devastating to them. The little side restaurants and everything around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, the mall there takes business, gets a run of business for 3 whole days over that weekend, and it's continuous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now there was nothing. It's crazy. Where I had a whole list of stuff and I can't find it. I had a bunch of questions, my usual questions about some of y'all stuff. I know the answers, but so your website is.
Mhm.
What did John throw up?
I didn't do that.
Somebody did. Somebody's playing.
I'm blaming this other smelly person.
Yeah, we had a latecomer here, so I'm gonna.
One. We had 2.
Yeah, well, I'm pulling the main one in. You remember this guy?
Yeah. I remember Skunk.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Hello.
I was the thing when I got here. I was kicking myself for oversleeping. And in my defense, I had a pallet fall on me today, so I had to take a nap when I got home.
Oh, yeah.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. It fell over twice. The second time it fell on me, and then I was a very angry skunk.
Did you
But
spray?
Did you spray the pallet?
I'll put it this way, right? This part of my arm over here hurts because the pallet fell on me. This finger right here hurts because I was punching things. That's how mad I was. So in a matter of speaking, yes, a lot of things got let out. But anywho, I was kicking myself because I know and love these. They're great. You just hang out with them at a con. You can talk with them for hours about just about near anything, and they'll keep you entertained. They're wonderful, especially when you've been drinking.
Yeah.
It literally is the cheapest. You know, it's the cheapest show you can get at a convention. It's 100% free. They're awesome.
Yeah. And KT and TD, I'll tell you, we described this show as pretty much that conversation after all the programs shut down and you don't want to go to bed. And everybody's just hanging out.
We've had plenty of those, yes.
Yeah. And like I told you in the email, once we get through the book talking and all that, if y'all want to hang around, I'm going to warn you, the subject can change. You may not even get you're about to say something. Somebody's going to jump in they're going to say it, and before it gets back around to you, you're on 3 different topics has run by before you can get your word in edgewise. That's what we bill our show as, and it's it gets about 500-600 views a week.
Cool.
And most of those views are after views. I mean, we're streaming live now. It's the after views that just blow our mind.
Well, that's really cool. Well, we'll have to watch ourselves.
We'll have to,
Oh yeah.
that'll be bad. I'll watch myself multiple times.
Well,
over the
yeah,
next-
it's exactly like being at a con. I mean, you just wandered around, and all of a sudden, you just happen to step into a conversation that didn't concern you before you got there, and it was just so fascinating. You had to jump in and say something.
Yep.
And Joe is the master of hit and run conversations.
Yeah. Totally used to that.
He will walk up, say one thing, and walk away, and hide around the corner and look and see what everybody else is thinking about what he just said.
They know. They know something. When I'm around, they know something's going to happen. They just don't know what.
Usually an air biscuit.
I don't do that at people at cons.
No, only in elevators just before you step off.
Yeah. At Mid-South.
So we used to let people know that it was coming. Then after a while, we just stopped and watched them respond. So we've gotten so used to it now that we don't let anyone know when Joe's coming around to do that because we like to see it too.
He does it on the show.
Okay.
And what will happen is you'll see his mic gets muted and he leans to one side. And then his mic comes back.
And Mark Crawford says, I'm a meanie. No, I'm not a meanies. Mark, they know me.
Hey, Joe. Joe, he was one of the kids in the elevator.
No, he'd have screamed my name the whole way. So, were y'all the victim of my beer mug trick?
No. We never suffered that one.
It's have you seen it looks like a beer mug and has liquid in it that you put in the freezer to freeze like beer. I was carrying that around HallowCon. It was at HallowCon or the FantasyCon, and I was walking up to the authors on Friday and acting like I'm looking at something, I put my beer mug here and then I drop it on their books.
Oh.
Yeah, that would have.
Oh no! I'm sure you had a lot of.
Yeah.
No, you did.
There's a few people. There's a few people at LibertyCon. He won't do that too because he knows he'll get shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, LibertyCon, that's a good possibility.
Yeah.
And I would
not be surprised.
Here's the deal with the practical jokes. I only pick on the people I like and love. So evidently y'all hadn't showed up yet or I didn't have it by then.
It was probably a little bit before our time.
It might have been pre-us, yeah. And we only went to a few FantasyCons.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. We more HallowCons.
But yeah, y'all seen my practical jokes.
Oh, yeah. And also your show openers during the opening ceremonies. Yeah. They're really good. They're really good. Very entertaining.
Yeah.
Good way to get things started.
Yeah. Everybody laughing at me.
No, we're laughing with
Gallagher's going to sue next time you use the watermelon, though.
No. No, don't use the watermelon. One thing I want to do one time, and Skunk's going to start. Skunk's already. When I said one thing I want to do one time, I can already see Skunk bringing his hand up like, "Oh Lord, what's he going to do to me this time?" I want to during opening ceremonies quote out, like, "Man, is this real life?" And then have somebody else say, "Is this just a fantasy?" And break into
Oh God.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Caught in a
Look.
Well, to quote one of my favorite movies, "You're right, and when you're right, you're right."
You're gonna have to wrangle Gay Reinhardt in on that one because I can't sing, and I can't do that music either.
Well,
It's going to be hard enough finding the classical stuff for HallowCon's opening.
Yeah. I've already got the design for HallowCon's opening. I just got to get Dan to get the music, and got Skunk already pre-prepped. It's going to be a opening that I should do on video for HallowCon next year. It's going to be that good. We can do it 2 years in a row.
Well, one thing you could do is just have a virtual con in the spring, the way we used to have FantasyCon, and then we had a HallowCon in the fall. So, like, I saw you guys every 6 months, so you could do maybe a virtual con in the spring and then
the real one in the fall.
Yeah, and that way you just keep the excitement for HallowCon going.
One thing, I don't see y'all aren't on Facebook much anymore, so y'all have missed out on a lot of stuff. I actually do a comic book show.
Oh,
down there in Dalton, and what I call a cosplay yard sale, where cosplayers strictly for cosplayers. It's 1 day strictly for cosplayers. If you build costumes, you can come sell your stuff, or if you build props, you can come sell your stuff. If you have a closet full of costumes, you want to, thin it down a little bit, put a little money in your pocket. That would be it'd be the perfect little show.
I may have to do that. I'm not in cape shape anymore, so a lot of my costumes don't fit anymore.
I think everybody has experienced that over the last 6 months.
Comfort eating, yes.
Comfort eating.
COVID-15.
Yeah, well, we discovered a great new dessert.
Yeah.
The was it the cinnamon pretzel Pop-Tarts?
Yep.
Heated with vanilla ice cream. Oh, every night there for a while, and well,
it was comfort eating.
It was comfort eating.
Yeah.
We got a lot of comfort. We binge watched Battlestar Galactica twice, the whole series twice, and ate ice cream and pretzel Pop-Tarts every night. So
old or new?
What the old?
The new one.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, the new one.
I also binge watched the original series, but that's me.
Well, I love both of them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I watched the original. We both did first run when it first came out. So I love both series. I never understood why people objected to one or the other. I'm like, it's a continuation of the same story. All this has happened before.
All it will happen again.
So I figured I think of the two series as one continuous story.
Sorry,
Mark.
And there's about a 15 to 20 second delay, so that's why some of the comments will pop up late. I mean, he can pop that up. Of course, I got to say thank you, Mark. I try to continue the tradition of HallowCon to make it a good show for everybody. Try to make it welcoming for everybody. So
it's Daggett.
What?
I miss Daggett.
Yeah.
And Mark's grinning.
They chose not to bring that back to the new series. It was a little bit darker, so they. I don't know if it was a good decision or a bad decision. It was certainly a decision.
Yeah, but I thought they did a really, really good job. Good tight writing, great characters, unexpected twists, huge character arcs. I love Gaius Baltar. I loved him. I thought that the actor did such a great job, and he wasn't really so much of a villain as just a greedy, self-centered guy who was actually more human and
He was duped into being the villain.
Exactly.
So what you can't see right now is the shirt that she's wearing explains why she likes Gaius Baltar.
Loki.
All right, that's why she likes Gaius Baltar. That's the whole reason.
What does Loki have to do with Gaius?
Well, Loki's a trickster, and he's often found himself in a position where he's responsible for things that he's not completely responsible for.
Oh,
He gets blamed for a lot of things. He's just trying to take care of himself. So that's why Loki and Gaius have some similarities. They wind up being very similar. Now, no one would say that they intentionally wrote Gaius as a Loki, because his analog was something different. But Loki comes out a lot in his character because of the way he's often just caught trying to be what he is, and it puts him in a situation where he's doing bad things to people, and he doesn't even catch it. So
yeah, and we liked it so much we watched it twice during the pandemic.
I loved the new series all the way up until the last 90 seconds. The last 90 seconds just it killed me. I mean, of course I was writing a fanfic, and it just throw it over my shoulder. We're done.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the magic of fanfic, is that you can fic it.
Yeah.
If it broke, fic it.
Well, you're not the only one who had a fanfic destroyed by that story writing. By the end of the series, I had a whole story I was writing, which was an Anders Starbuck series, and that got toasted. So
yeah.
Oh, I was building a crossover between Next Gen and the Battlestar, but it's kind of hard to fill 158,000 year gap.
Time travel? You just shot around the sun
twice.
Twice?
It worked for J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
But did it?
Flare. Shake the camera.
Time will tell.
Yeah. I love fan fiction. That's where I got my start.
Yeah.
I started out writing Teen Titans fan fiction because I'm a big Teen Titans fan from like 1980. Raven is my favorite fictional character ever. So I started writing in 2005 a very long series of connected fanfic stories that I have neglected for like the last 8 years. And during the pandemic, decided, well, if the world is really ending, I need to finish this fan fiction before the world is done. So I've been working on getting that one done. And I've got another one, The House of Loki, which is a follow-on to Thor: The Dark World that completely ignores everything else that happened after that. So Ragnarok didn't happen, and Infinity War, Endgame, all of that didn't happen because I started writing it right after The Dark World. So again, I'm a very slow writer, still putting chapters out there for it. But I'm really enjoying that. And I would encourage anyone, if they wanted to get started, get their feet wet and talk to other writers, start out writing fan fiction. You're not going to make any money doing it, but you do it right. You can be a rock star in your own little corner of the internet for 15 minutes. And that's actually quite a boost.
You can also get good feedback. A lot of people that read fanfic give good feedback.
Yeah, they do. They give good feedback. You can get some good beta readers that way. I met a lot of really cool people.
And you can learn your chops.
Yeah. You can really earn your stripes. And believe me, there are a lot of fanfic readers that are very picky, and they will let you know.
Oh yes,
those are the best ones if you want feedback.
Yeah, definitely. So
fanfic.net, is that it?
Fanfiction.net. There are other sites, but that's the one I've mainly written for. And I put The House of Loki is also on my blog. It's way shorter than the Titans fic. The Titans fic, I sat down and made an ebook of everything I've written in it so far, and it is longer than my first novel.
Okay.
So it's pretty big. So I've not put that on mine yet. I'm thinking about making ebook versions of them that never for sale because it's fan fiction.
Yeah.
I firmly believe, even though it is copyrighted and kind of illegal to sell it. I firmly believe fan fiction should always be free. I think that is part of the magic of it, and part of getting your feet wet and sharing your love with your fellow fans. I think it's really, really fun. Now, that's kind of an odd thing for me to say, considering you could consider what I've written fan fiction as well. I draw a slight distinction in it, in that what I'm writing for is public domain.
Yeah.
I've stuck with that, and I never would have sold this or attempted to sell it if it had not already been based on public domain. Plus, all of the characters, with the exception of one in the second book, are brand new characters, brand new situations, just based on those old stories. So it's like 95% original, except for the situations that kick them off. So,
that makes sense.
so in a way, my novels are fan fiction, in a way. But I think for anything current that's definitely still in copyright, definitely should be free.
Considering the amount of research I watch you do, they're not fan fiction. So.
Right. I did a lot of research on these, a lot of science, a lot of history, a lot of, especially women in science. So I pack a lot into it, a lot of genetics, rocket science, even, interestingly enough for the time, computer science. They have an analytical engine on the Thunderchild's Fury. And they have programmers, and instead of calling them nerds or geeks, they're Booleans. That's kind of their nickname for it. And I throw in a lot of history of science, especially how women have contributed to science but have been kind of left out of that history. And that's really going to come into play in the third book, which is still being written now, called The Invisible Woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody wants to submit something to your newsletter, how would they go about doing that? Or do you take submissions, or is it just
You're the first person to ask.
Yep. There's that deer in the headlights
Yeah.
moment where we're trying to figure out how to answer that one.
I would love to have guest articles. That would be fine. We'd probably vet them first to make sure that they fit with the mission of the newsletter, but I'm pretty flexible on that. And
that was just an idea that popped in my head. Is
yeah,
well, they can email us directly.
They can email us directly.
And
sorry, go ahead.
What would that be?
So I have a Gmail account for my author, so tdraufson@gmail.com. Pretty straightforward there.
Mm-hmm.
And yours is?
I haven't used mine in so long, I forget.
They can send it directly to that.
They can send it directly to him, and he will definitely forward it to me.
And it's not Raufson.
Yep,
There's no L in it.
No L.
No, there's
correct.
no L.
There's no L in it. I messed that up 2 years in a row. Sorry. But yeah, I want to get that. Make sure they get the spelling right. At gmail.com.
Yep. Long term, we'll put something out there in our publishing arm. As we're growing, Twin Cedars will be putting some things out there around submission and getting engaged as an author in that area. Because one of the things that we do want to do is not only promote ourselves, we want to promote other authors. So as we've been working through getting this started, we want to make sure that the authors that we meet, the authors that we know, we give them an avenue to be promoted by us through Twin Cedars, as well as continue the cross promotion. Because one thing authors need to do is help each other out. We're all trying our best to get our work out there. It's interestingly non-competitive in my mind, because someone that reads my book is also going to read your book, and we may connect because we're the same genre. So being able to cross promote is a way to sustain other authors and keep them growing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cross promotion is key, especially in this time.
Yeah.
Right. And I never charge anybody for having them as a guest author or for advertising their book.
Yeah.
In the newsletter, it is totally free. Now, if they want to do newsletter exchange, if they have a newsletter themselves and they want to feature one or two of our books, that's great, but it's not required. If they don't have a newsletter at all, I'll still want to promote them.
I know somebody
add on if they if they want to trade.
I know somebody's got an awesome e-zine.
Mm.
If you remember e-zines, it's still up and running.
Yes.
23 years straight.
Really? That's a
Yeah.
surprise. They don't usually last that long.
That's great.
No, 3 years is the usual lifespan for a website. I've been putting this thing out for 23 years. We've helped over 300 amateur writers learn enough about their writing skills to be able to get pro writing contracts and sell their books. I see
That's great.
20 or 30 of them every year at LibertyCon. H. David Blaylock was one. I was his first publisher. Gareth Powell, called Thomas Mays. Oh Lord, I can't go through the whole list. It's like 300 I'd have to pull out of my memory. But no, I do have a question for y'all though about the alternate history stuff that you're doing. Are you familiar with the Wold Newton universe?
The what?
Wold Newton.
Wold Newton.
No. Old Newton.
Oh,
No.
Not really.
No.
Oh.
I have not. That sounds.
It's WOLD Newton, and it is predicated on the fact that classic fiction and pulp fiction and whatever the stories are basically interconnected tales of a one large diverse family.
Okay.
So Doc Savage and Tarzan are cousins.
Oh, I would love that. Thank you. I wrote that down. I will be checking that out.
Yep, go and look it up. There's a guy called Win Scott Eckert who is in charge of this stuff. He's writing new pulp fiction based on some of the things from this, and it's like crossover central. You get all this interconnected stuff.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me see if I can aim it towards your stuff. The Time Traveler from H.G. Wells' work, The Time Machine, is one of the members of the family. A distant cousin is Captain Nemo. Another distant cousin is Phileas Fogg.
Yeah.
And you have all kinds of things from several different periods, but it's not a mishmash. It's like a family tree. They go,
I would
this
love
this
that.
happened here, this happened here, this happened here, and this guy is this guy's uncle. And this woman is this woman's aunt. And yeah, it's a fascinating conceit.
Okay, I will check that out. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I absolutely love it. I dip into it as often as I possibly can because I love infinite crossovers.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I will check it out. Thank you.
All
Oh,
right.
you're welcome.
All right. Now we're reaching top of the hour, and usually, we bring the author guest in for about an hour. Now comes the choice. Do you hang around for the other hour and just join in the crazy conversations that happen? Or are y'all going to bow out and we'll see y'all again a couple more times between now and HallowCon?
Is it ice cream and Pop-Tart time, or are you going to stick around?
It's always ice cream and Pop-Tart time, but we can stick around.
We can do both.
We can delay that.
Although, if you see one of us disappear off screen for a few seconds, I mean, that's okay.
Make enough for everybody.
You
Or you can't
know,
make fun of us.
The thing I love about virtual is I can virtually give you as much food as you can stand.
Well, one other thing
yeah.
to do is the old Star Trek trick. If you remember in the classic series where they had the guy that had the threatening alien on screen and it turned out just to be a little dummy.
Oh yeah,
little
yeah.
pen he had, and he was just, the cute little guy.
Corbomite maneuver.
Corbomite
Yeah,
maneuver,
yeah. I just keep him around to, give the glare of intimidation, So I'm like, I wonder how many people are going to set the little cardboard cutout or something up of themselves so they can run off and go do something else, or
Little Clint Howard. Yes.
yeah, or do a little GIF,
So
little looping GIF of themselves kind of moving a little bit.
I do have a story around that because recently in a class, because I do online training with people nearly every week, or I was for a long time. I had a student who was playing around with his background. So he took a picture of himself in his room and made that his background. And then for very long portions of the class, it was his background and only his background. And so we did call him on it because we noticed it. But for a long period of time, there was just him, and in his background was his virtual background.
Okay.
Yeah, we can stick around for a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, that's why I rolled into this format, so everybody can sort of see everybody a little better.
Yep.
And we can tell whether you've been sneaking out and using virtual backgrounds.
Right.
Yep. This is real. This is not virtual.
That's a real background.
Yeah, it's a real background.
Which is absolutely
Oh, come
cool.
on. I've watched every episode of Max Headroom twice. I can do this.
That's right. That's right. We know how this works.
And we broke KT.
It's not hard.
It's not me this week
Yeah.
yet.
I called dibs on being blank red.
The night is still young.
Yeah. How this show actually started was, through the pandemic, I found StreamYard, which is what this platform is.
The power of boredom.
The power of boredom. And
cheese.
I made up a StreamYard account, and StreamYard gives you 20 hours free a month.
We used that up in the first week.
Yeah.
You used almost half of it in the first stream.
Yeah. And then I went and got one. So we had another 20 hours. So we basically had 40 hours worth of show going. So and then Joe broke down and actually paid for it, where you get unlimited time.
Yeah.
And more buttons.
And more buttons. But
well, he is in retirement. He's got the money coming in.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about it.
Got the big bucks.
Yeah, Skunk was the first person I called in, and then I saw John on, so we messaged John, come in, or John saw us and wanted to come in, or whatever. We brought John in. 4.5 hours later, we called it.
It sounds like God.
Yep. Well, that was the idea behind it, actually.
That was the idea, yeah.
And then the tornado hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we stayed up that night. We stayed up that night for 6 hours doing tornado footage.
And Lewis was giving us insight through all his news connections of everything going on. So we were having, we were getting live updates faster than the news was getting it out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We were.
That's because Lewis is not filtered.
Unfiltered like a camel.
Right.
And just as deadly.
Giggle snort.
I'm not gonna. Oh, KT, only because you're one of my guests, I'm not gonna call that out. You are very lucky.
It'll show up on Facebook tomorrow.
No doubt.
What? Giggle snort?
Once somebody starts snorting,
I'm proud of my giggle snorts. I'm famous for my giggle snorts. So
Oh,
call it out.
we've got somebody that can giggle snort the heck out of you. We just can't get her to come back on the show right now.
Yeah, Jesus.
I wonder why.
It's not me.
I know who you're talking about. I know.
Because she works at night, that's why.
Yeah, she's got a job during the shows now. But yeah, once she starts it, I heard it. There it is. Yeah, is she gonna do it again? Yeah, is she? Yeah, there it is again.
Yep.
And you know when somebody calls you out on a giggle snort, you can't stop.
Yeah,
No.
that's just it's downhill from there.
Yeah.
Until they run out of air and pass out. I mean, it's that's
Story of my life. Only with me, it's not running out of air; it's running out of beer, and then I pass out. Joe calls me Uncle Sleepy because I have nodded off during a streamcast, and they could not wake me up.
oh no. And we tried for 45 minutes. We tried to wake him up.
Oh no.
It's on stream.
With sirens and buzzers and everything.
Oh yeah, we tried everything.
It's in some of the past videos.
Yeah, he wakes up, and this is what he sees.
Because we're gone. Yeah, we're done. We're done. And just left it going with him as the main screen. And
Yeah, we don't broadcast that, but that's that he wakes up and he sees it like, oh.
They ended a broadcast for the regular show, and right after High Flight went off, it brought Dan big full screen, and then he cut the feed, and we were over doing the after show, and he was watching the old stream, and he saw Dan wake up, and then Dan came into the new stream.
Hey, I just needed a little nap. I'm old.
A little power nap.
Nap is good.
Yeah, but KT, his power nap, we were playing the klaxon from Star Trek's Red Alert.
we played the footage from
The Purge.
Purge, where they had the Purge starting siren. Resident Evil, House on Haunted Hill. Just
I still had the headphones on
things
too.
with the frequency, and as it gets higher,
we did
it
the
gets higher
frequency
pitch.
test where it says this is a frequency you're not supposed to be able to hear without your head exploding. And this is a frequency that'll make all your teeth fall out. Oh,
Yeah, this was the thing about the frequency thing. This was a thing that was it started out at 0 hertz. And then it slowly over the course of like 15 minutes climbed up to like 15,000 hertz. So as it's starting out going whoop, 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 whoop.
We did the TH.
By the time I got to the end, it was
intro from the movie theater.
At volume.
Yeah, he had headphones on.
But of course,
it stir.
So Dan, the way I read this is you are an expert napper. That's what I get from this. You are capable of napping under any circumstances. This is good.
We were actually wondering if his headphones
Serious nappage there, yeah.
When I was a child, and we would visit my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, there was a railroad track about 16 feet up and behind my head right now. If you learn to sleep through a train going by, a freight train going by every 15 minutes all night long, nothing these clowns can do is going to interrupt me.
Expert napper.
Yep, expert.
Yeah. And as you notice, Heather said something about after show. After we sign off the stupid o'clock pages, I restart another stream and do another hour, anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours after this show.
And then Blake and I wind up talking for another 4 hours.
Yeah, it's like 6 a.m.
Because I woke up.
Yeah, that's the
and
thing.
what you lose, Heather? Heather is a nursing school student.
I had something that I wanted to write down, and I started to write it down, and I was just like, no, you don't need to write it down that way because there's other information that goes with that.
And now you forgot what you're going to write down.
No, I know exactly what I'm writing down.
Oh.
I've watched all of the videos for the lectures, and after I get done with that, I go and I read the material out of the book so I know what's important to know and what's not important to know, because they don't always put the important information in the PowerPoint slides. And so we're going over cardiac right now. And the chapter is conduction of the heart and reading ECGs. So you've got the way that the conduction of electricity goes through your heart and makes your atrium and your ventricles pump. And depending on which node that fires depends on how fast your heartbeat's supposed to go.
Oh.
So anyways, I'm done.
You're
That's
reading all
cool.
about my condition. I have a watch that has a single lead ECG, and my cardiologist didn't believe it. I went into AFib on vacation. I called my cardiologist, and he said, "Well, can you get you an emergency room?" I said, "Yeah, I can, but how about if I just send you one from my watch?" And he's like, "Whatever." He didn't believe me, so I took a 30-second single lead ECG from my phone. From my watch. Texted it to him from my phone, and he looked at it and he was like, "Oh my God, okay, yeah, you're an AFib, and the good news is you're not in any immediate danger, so just see me when you get back home."
Well, that's good.
Take care of your ticker.
Trying.
That's technology today.
Yeah.
When Lewis told us that story several months ago, I'm going like, really?
There's things that you can try to do at home for AFib to try and knock yourself out of that rhythm before you actually have to go to a hospital.
Yeah, I've had AFib for 8 years, and I've got a pacemaker now for 7 years.
Did you know that
I've tried the pills, I've tried the coughing, I've tried everything. It used to be where if I coughed really hard, it would throw me into AFib. That's how temperamental my heart was. 90% temper, 10% mental.
Yeah.
And so after I got the pacemaker, it happened a lot less often. And so now, whenever I go into AFib, they know it's going to require cardioversion. So I just go in, they put me out, clear.
I
Shoot,
just
I-
eat a Hershey
and I
bar
get-
and my heart slows back down.
And I get a sunburn. Well, it's not about tachycardia. I've got pills that'll fix that too. It's about an irregular rhythm that makes you feel like you just ran a marathon and all you did was get up and walk across the room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
his atrium aren't pumping at the right. They're supposed to just pump, and then you're supposed to have your ventricle pump. Well, what's happening is his atrium is going boom, 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 and his ventricle is only going in a normal beat.
Okay.
yeah, my heart should be going, but instead it goes.
That's not good.
Everybody tango.
It decreases cardiac output. It
Mhm.
You went from slave ship
decreases
to polka.
preload.
Yeah.
Quadruple time. Caesar wants to water ski.
And see, I know about this stuff now.
But yeah, and it sucks because every time they have to cardiovert me, I get a sunburn.
Ooh.
The pad leaves a burn mark on your chest and on your back where they put those pads.
That's
Yeah.
not
Do
a
they-
sunburn.
Do they
That's an
fully
electrical
sedate
burn.
you?
Yeah.
Or do they fully sedate you, or are you only
Oh, yeah.
partially?
Oh no. I'm fully out.
Because I know for some procedures they only partially, because especially with cath labs, if you go into a
Well-
cath lab, you have to be partially sedated because there's times where they're going to want you to cough or swallow or hold your breath.
hmm When they did my ablation surgery a year ago in March, I was partially sedated. And I'm
Or a
like,
duck
okay,
cup.
you're going to be up there fooling around, burning things in my heart, and I'm going to be awake. He said, "You're going to be awake, but you're not going to care."
It says that most people don't remember it post procedure.
I don't remember most of it. I do remember a couple of jokes that I cracked, and I'm notorious at that. I use humor to diffuse fear, And so, usually if I'm undergoing a procedure, I'm cracking wise, and the nurse is like, they're giving more juice.
Hey, Lewis, I've got a good electric fencer here if you need it.
Yeah, I've got to short it out.
Just grab and hang on, boy.
I got to short it out slow cooker. I think, it's much better.
Harbor Freight has arc welders.
Oh, I can't do an arc welder.
As long as it's only about 100 joules, you're good. But if you're going to go over 100 joules, that's not a cardio version.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I don't think that's on
these things are listed
the
in
arc
watts
welder
and
scale.
volts, not joules.
I bet it is.
I could get my ugly manual out and do the conversion, I guess.
If you can weld aluminum,
I could probably write a
start
spreadsheet for that, but I don't really want to.
Yeah, no, I would have to use gas welding. I can't use an arc welder because of the magnetic field would affect my pacemaker.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the doctor told me that when they put the pacemaker in, he says, "You won't be able to weld. Are you a welder?" I said, "Oh man, I was hoping to learn."
Doctor, will I be able to play the piano after this? Well, sure. Why not? I can play the piano before.
Never could before. I'm glad you didn't say violin, because Thessaly might be watching this.
Doctor, it hurts when I do this. Well, don't do that.
Don't do that no more.
Talk about welding, boy. Wish I knew.
Which boy did you weld?
I wish I knew how to weld stainless steel right now.
Ooh,
Oh
that's
my
delicate.
gosh.
Yeah.
He wants to get paid the big bucks to go work for Elon.
Oh,
Work for Elon Musk
talking
and
about
Rocket.
Chica.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's another thing that we
takes
do, KT and TD, is we watch rocket launches and rocket test launches.
Yeah.
And rocket no launches.
And rocket no launches. Lots of them.
We watch a lot of those.
And sudden unexpected disassemblies.
Rapid,
that-
unscheduled
unexpected.
disassemblies.
Or no, rapid unscheduled
Assembly.
assembly.
Well, Joe, if you want to
I'm
learn,
behind the curve. I'm an old guy.
Say that again, TD.
if you want to learn, my father could teach you. He's been welding everything for most of my life.
At a nuclear power plant.
He's a plumber steam fitter. So.
He got to be good then.
That's what Elon is paying his stainless welders on the main welding. They're making nuclear pay.
Yeah. Well, see, the interesting thing is people joke about it, but the most important person in a nuclear power plant is your plumbers, and people don't realize that because it's all steam. So
Yeah.
It's all about pipe fitting, and they
It's
make
a new kind of steampunk.
He's just a plumber at a nuclear power plant.
I used to date a girl whose dad designed nuclear power plants, and he told her it's all just plumbing. You just have to make sure the pipes don't intersect in the wrong place. She went out on a tour with him, and they had everything all painted up. This was the hot. This was the exit line. This is the intercooler where things don't touch each other, but actually bleed the heat off from one end to the other. And she's going, "This is artwork." And he goes, "Yeah, well, why do you think you're so good?" She was a graphic designer, and
Okay.
she lives up on her family lives up on Lookout Mountain.
Okay.
Now,
I mean, over the edge of you can actually go into their basement and see the street lights of Chattanooga.
Ooh.
It's a little closer to the edge than I like.
Yeah.
Oh man, it overhangs. I mean, there is no ground visible. I only visited once. I was afraid the house would fall off the cliff while I was there.
You would
now
not
KT, I noticed in the our opening news segment that you laughed when the crawl went across the bottom.
Ooh.
KT did.
Again, I don't know
About
if
the schools all being online.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. At the very last one.
No,
Yeah.
the last one,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Polk County
Interwebs
interwebs teaching.
You got to speak the right language for all of your students. That's a very
Interwebs
important
teaching.
thing.
That really cracked me up.
Yeah, I saw you just
Well,
bust out laughing. See,
Yeah.
when people are not on screen, the producers can still see their cameras.
we still see everybody picking their nose and stuff. So.
Yeah. And what's so funny is
Better reach. What are you laughing at? I don't miss anything.
hey, I've had a COVID test. That's not so
Yeah, can't be worse than a COVID test.
See, now you've done it.
don't rank the guests.
Now you've done it.
Wait, Joe. We
Give me
got to
about
do it.
5 minutes
What?
before she stops. Did you hear it? Hey, Terry, stop the countdown.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Got her rolling. That's awesome. Wouldn't be a soup look like without it.
That usually happens in the middle of the Oracle at Delphi. They broke me one time. I ended up reading something back. Somebody made me laugh, and I was rolling in the floor, literally, in the middle of the panel.
You thought hanging out with Joe Dog at HallowCon was dangerous? Welcome to the family, dude.
Now,
On camera.
Yeah.
No,
we do have a little
what I was saying is our after show has some very uplifting polka music. And we're watching, our producers are sitting there watching everybody.
You won't get the full effect unless you turn your volume up.
Okay.
Don't.
Wow.
It ends with a damn big explosion.
Oh, Dan needs to feed the gerbils. Look how bad he's lagging.
Hey, Dan, go update your computer.
Oh,
Go
that's
feed
why-
the
Remember
tree.
By
earlier
the
I was
way-
joking about Dan and a tin can and string for his internet? I wasn't far off.
No, not really.
I do want to give a visual representation of what Dan's modem is doing about 90% of the time. Joe said she laughed earlier. I
4-1
just
for
wanted to do
Scott.
that.
Okay.
Oh, no. Of
I
course,
can't help it.
We are set up for when somebody says something that really shouldn't be said.
Good night, everybody.
And he's got like 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah.
Did you
I
ever
guess I
do
could put
hello,
those
nerd?
now.
No, because
Good night, everybody.
We just did the good night, everybody's.
Yeah, we do need to get a hello.
And then
nurse.
we just
Oh yes, please, a hello nurse with a Betty Page.
we just recently did this one. Whenever somebody says something, it goes over somebody else's head.
Okay, I definitely got a reboot.
Not seeing any of them, are you, Dan?
And he never sees them.
No,
by the way-
I rarely do. I might see the first cell of the animation and then nothing. So I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay. I need to apologize to everybody for being late with the news tonight. When I got everything set up, my desk is over on that side of the room. So when I was setting up so that I could do live rim shots, I used my old iMac. So I pulled it out of the closet, set it up, got everything going, set up the lights, and I called Joe Dog on Facebook Messenger. Okay, everything worked perfectly on Facebook Messenger. He could hear me, I could hear him, the camera was working, everything was cool. So I shut everything down, went back to work, then did stuff around the house. come airtime, about 20 minutes till I try to get on and click the StreamYard link, and StreamYard says your browser's not supported. I had an old version of Chrome on my old iMac, and I couldn't update it. That was one of the reasons that I got a new iMac. There were so few apps that were, still supported on the old iMac, which I bought in 2005. So I spent that whole time, 15 to 20 minutes, trying to shut down the old iMac, shut down the new iMac, put the new iMac in place, boot it up. Unfortunately, it's not as fast as my old iMac. So it took a very long time for it to boot up and for me to get to StreamYard to log in. And that was just after the open. So I apologize. I should have tested in real world scenario, but I'm a doof.
Yeah, tech happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes
it's Apple features.
Did you try turning it on and turning it back off again?
Yeah, 3 times.
Turning it off and turning it back on again.
No. I said it the way I meant to say it.
Okay.
Pressing it off and turning it back. Oh, I'm so sick of totally saying that.
And by the way, this will be the last time that we have the live band because, oh my God, this is the freaking most uncomfortable seat in the world. I have to get the new throne.
Well, if you just spin the top up a little bit further.
Biscuits are burning.
Didn't I say you could sort of set everything up to where you could go to your rather? No, I can do it. I can sit here.
Do it like Johnny. Do it like they used to do on David Letterman, where he'd show the band long enough to make it to his desk.
Yeah.
The thing I'm thinking about right now is like Lewis, what did you ever play live music?
I did when I was in high school and shortly after.
Did you play like were you in jazz band? Did you play the set in band?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I had
how long were the sets?
Oh, I mean, I would go 3-4 hours, no problem. What I'm saying is this particular throne is a piece of crap. I mean, it's like 1 inch thick and zero support for the gluteus.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so did it.
I'm so glad I don't have to click the rim shot buttons tonight because we also have rim shot videos. And I'm so glad I don't have to do that tonight
And that's why I'm doing it live.
Yeah. See, because
lamest rim shot.
I have to click
the kid's the best
off.
one.
Yeah. The kid, yeah.
That's my favorite.
Because you realize that his friend slipped and fell, and without missing a beat, he did the rim shot.
Yeah, it's his older brother. The older brother says something into the microphone, and the kid's just sitting there, and he falls over, and he does the rim shot, and then the kid cries, and they're like, "Oh, you're okay, you're okay," and that kid in the background is dying. He can't help it. He's just sitting there, ready to do the next thing, but he's trying not to laugh because he knows he's about to be in big trouble. It's funny.
And Dan's back.
Yay.
And I'll be back just a minute.
Actually, that's Dan's front.
Hey, I am wearing a shirt.
And we're all
They make us wear
grateful.
shirts on the show.
Don't stand up.
Don't ask him about the pants.
But, hey,
Swim
KTTD.
trunks.
KTTD. One thing was made clear in the announcement for HallowCon going virtual is that it will be clothing optional for attendees. You can be naked in your own house. We don't care.
Oh, so we can no longer say no costume.
No play.
Costume.
That's right. No
I
costume.
mean,
is a
usually,
costume.
in a lot of cons, it's no costume means no costume,
Yeah.
and you can't be without a costume. Like, no costume is a costume.
1, you don't have to wait in line for the bathroom. 2, you don't have to wait on the elevator.
and the concessions are cheap.
And this is going to be the only time in HallowCon history that your bartender is going to cut you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Not
may have
my
to take
bartender, baby.
some optional part.
Oh, yeah. You break the camera.
My
That
camera.
was a joke, Dad.
I hope we have a backup camera.
Lewis,
Have
you
you
need,
On
had
my
this?
car.
Lewis, you need to do the brush song again. Okay.
Don't show me an IPA.
Delicious.
Show me. I don't want to look. I don't want to think about no IPA.
Oh no, it's pretty
I
tasty.
I
He's
drink
back.
real beer.
Oh, there he is.
Oh yes, okay.
Hey. We found out that this one guy that we know, Bradley Prescott the Fourth, this professional wrestler, and he loves Natty. He is the natural light heavyweight. That's his professional wrestling gimmick. He's got Natty Light trunks and everything, right? And Natural Light tweeted out, they said, "Who would like to be sponsored?" And like all these people were like, Bradley wants to be sponsored. And they go, "Oh, we know."
That's awesome.
So
He's not
I'm really hoping that
acceptable.
becomes a thing.
Can we have somebody that's real?
This is a true story too. We were at the Scenic City Invitational. This is the after party because the Scenic City Invitational is basically like a con for professional wrestlers. You go down, you watch the show, and then afterwards there's panels and parties, and we hang out at a hotel. It's the Best Western. Remember the Best Western we had HallowCon out that one time, Joe?
Yes.
Yep, Heritage Room up there.
Okay.
Full on party time. It's amazing. Everybody's having a good time. We all eat at City Cafe. Well, we're in the middle of doing one of the parties, and we're playing music and stuff. We're waiting for everybody to show up. I've got my sound system going. Here comes Bradley. He walks in. He's got 2 12-packs of the Natter Days strawberry lemonade flavored malt liquor. He's got 2 12-packs under each arm, comes walking in. He's all like, "All right, hey, how's it going, everybody?" And he puts them down and just starts handing out beers. Just everybody got a beer. And those, by the way, are really good.
They are
Delicious.
I wondered about that.
It's, you know what? I was telling somebody the other night about those. They're like, somebody once recommended to me, is like, if you've had a really hot, you've been working all day, you're out in the sun, you're sweating, you get home and you want a cold beer, that a nice, like a Blue Moon, like a good wheat beer is perfect for that. Nah, Natter Days, because it's like having a strawberry lemonade on a hot day, except with alcohol.
That sounds interesting.
Very good.
Yeah, but
they're delicious.
somewhere between 4.6 and 6.8 on the Richter scale.
Now, were y'all at HallowCon the year I turned into Dutch Jr.?
Oh,
Y'all would have remembered that.
Yeah.
Y'all would have remembered that if you were there, because it was that big of an event.
Yeah.
I mean, Mickey was crying. That's how big of an event it was.
Did we ever get that as like, we were supposed to have that we could bring it up or something?
Yes, for some
I have
reason
seen still photographs.
We brought up a still photograph, but there's no video footage. As far as I know.
No, somebody had a video.
If somebody filmed it, they never told me.
Donna keeps deleting it.
No.
I don't remember.
No.
That might have been PS.
Yeah. No, seriously, at the time I had hair as long as Dutch's. I even had it sort of frosted like Dutch's. Had the beard and the goatee going. And all weekend long, instead of having a ponytail, I had my hair just hanging, flowing free. When it came time for, if you remember how Dutch did the cosplay contest, he called it the Masquerade Ball. Everybody sort of had to stand around, and people came and dropped money in. I walked up there wearing a hoodie, blue jeans, and actually had the same looking pair of shoes as Dutch had.
But much like in the film, The Shawshank Redemption, how often do you look at a man's shoes?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I walked up. I told him I want to be in the, I want to get in on this. He looked at me and goes, if you can make money on it, go for it. You know how Dutch is. Once Dutch got into his role, he turned his back to me, and it was on. One girl came up, started brushing my hair out to get the ponytail. Another girl came up and gave me the bandana. Somebody walked past Dutch with a cell phone, and I hung it on my one side. Somebody else walked past him with tape, pulling a tape measure out, gave me the tape measure. Somebody walked up and handed me a cane. And at that point in time, I unzipped my hoodie and took my hoodie off. I was wearing the exact same shirt Dutch was wearing.
Like literally the same shirt. Like it was the same printing and everything.
Yeah. And you know how Dutch
Didn't see it.
do what?
He was up there doing the whole, and everybody was laughing, and Dutch couldn't figure out why they were laughing.
Yeah, Dutch thought that was the funniest. He thought he was killing.
He thought he was telling great jokes. No, Joe was standing behind him, looked just like him.
Yeah, we missed that one. We definitely would have remembered that.
Would have remembered
it. Donna just popped in here and said somebody brought me the jacket, a camouflage jacket exactly like he was wearing. Dutch thought he was killing it. He turns around and looks at me, and he cocks his head to the side and said a lot of nasty words.
Yeah.
And the whole crowd lost it.
That's awesome.
Oh.
I'm imagining that it was an analysis of your immediate genealogy.
People who were watching this and were laughing at stuff, they finally went to the back and they were like, Mickey, you gotta go. Mickey, of course, she's doing the whole like, what? Leave me alone. I'm busy. Leave me alone. And they're like, you gotta come here, like right now. You gotta come here right now. And she's like, what? What is so important? What has he done? And she turns around and she looks and she sees Joe Dog. And like I said, it was instant tears. And she just walks up, she's crying, and she just grabs it and goes, I love you. Oh, the best, and although that was the best part, my second favorite thing was what happened about, I would say, an hour later.
Oh, when he went and changed shirts?
No. Well, yes, he went and changed shirts. You also went and changed shirts, so I thought was great. You were prepared for that, and then he goes to do. Back then, HallowCon had the slave auction.
Yeah.
About halfway through the slave auction, he just looks over at Joe and is like, hell, you want to be me so bad? You do the damn thing. Hands him the microphone, walks off to go have a cigarette. Joe gets right into it, starts doing the slave auction exactly the same way Dutch would. Giving everybody hell for not bidding enough. No, it was funny.
That is my... Mm-hmm. That is my...
your ticket to immortality.
Yeah. And what got it revoked was when I covered Mickey in all the inflatable pink flamingos. Mickey hates pink flamingos.
Were we there that year?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. I thought we were there.
No, you would have remembered that one. Everybody got in trouble for that.
Oh, yeah.
I gave everybody 2 pink flamingos. And I said, walk up to Mickey on the couch, hand them to her, and say, I'm so sorry. Joe Dog is making me do this.
Okay, we would have remembered that.
Yeah. It wasn't so bad.
Would have pulled me in on that one.
No doubt.
It wouldn't have been so bad until like the 12th and 14th one walked up. And Mickey looks over and there's a line out the door. She was on the sofa in the lobby. The line was out the door.
So it was like a Larry Niven autograph line at LibertyCon. About 2 blocks down the street.
Yeah,
Heather was there. Heather remembers this.
I saw the end of it. I had gone out to lunch or something, and I came back and I walked into the lobby, and there's Mickey, and she's just like, "I'd hug you, but I don't want to move." And I was just like, "What?" And she goes, "Don't want to talk about it." So it was Joe. Okay. She goes, "No, it's bad. They're in my room. I can't go anywhere."
Gotta call housekeeping to get the inflatable flamingos cleaned out of the room.
I think there was a bunch of them out by the pool too.
Yeah, they were.
And in the
everywhere.
grass, because you know how the hotel does this like U thing, and then there's the pool, and then there's the grass. I think they were in the grass too. I can't remember like exactly. I just remember going out to smoke and seeing pink flamingos out in the smoking area.
Oh no!
Everywhere.
They were everywhere. Oh my God! I felt for her. She couldn't go anywhere. It wasn't safe.
And the punchline to that joke is Mickey despises pink flamingos.
Oh no!
I think I know something else she learned to despise that day.
Yep. Oh.
No. I always love Dutch and Mickey. They were the ones that originally brought us into HallowCon.
Yeah.
But Dutch was always good to us, and we've always enjoyed the Captain's Mess, which I'm very glad you've continued.
Yeah.
That
I now call it the guest banquet because it's.
Yeah.
I'm trying to class it up.
Sure.
Now, how did you like the way you got your invitation to the guest banquet? Do you not remember that?
The one that I remember was in our guest packet.
Yeah.
When we came
the
in.
little certificate.
Yeah, it was great. I really liked it. It was very enjoyable. I like the way you've done it. And it makes me feel very special as a guest to have that done. And I don't know of any other con that does that.
Well,
it's the only con I know that treats their guests that way. And I appreciate it.
Well, didn't I tell y'all when Dutch passed the torch to me that I'm gonna make some changes that's gonna for the better?
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Now, as being a guest at the last three, have I followed through?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. And every year, you take it up another notch.
Well, I'm having to knock it way down this year.
Well,
it's a different cause.
That's a completely different cause.
You're just going with a different format.
Yeah,
everyone's had a monkey wrench thrown in, but one of the good outcomes, I think, because in my opinion, life is a mixed bag.
Yeah.
In every situation like this, you're going to have naturally, you're going to think of the bad, but there's going to be some good come out of it as well. Some things are going to change, maybe for the better, or at least people will get some more ideas that things can be done differently.
Yeah.
So I think that the format that you're thinking about is going to be really cool, and that can be a positive outcome. And I think we should take as many positive outcomes out of this great quarantine as possible. But I mean, you could potentially turn this, like I said before, into its own annual event, maybe at a different time of year than HallowCon, just to keep everyone synced up. So,
and I do appreciate the idea of doing it in the spring because that makes sense. So, I mean, I'd love to be able to pull it, be able to pull something like this off at a convention, but there's a problem with trying to do stuff with this much bandwidth at a convention. Hotel internet.
Yeah.
It is
well, plus,
expensive.
if everyone's there, you want people to be together. One way you could combine it, though, is if there were some people who could make it, they wanted to sit in on certain panels.
Yeah.
Or if you had a guest that wanted to present there but couldn't make it for some reason, travel issues or something, you could still web them in.
Yeah.
The panel.
They did that at Fanboy once. Because Leonard Nimoy was supposed to be there. He'd caught pneumonia or something.
Yeah.
He couldn't show up. So instead, they did a live webcast from his home. And everybody was still upset because you can't make nerds happy.
This is true.
Or you can make some nerds happy
Some of the time.
Yeah, you had
Make
all
nerds
those.
happy all the time.
You had all those Sheldons there who were like, I didn't get to meet Mr. Spock. That's the whole reason I was here. They should have said something. That's like what were they?
Do not get me started on things like that.
If he had just had pneumonia and he was probably immunocompromised at that time, it would not have been a good idea to put him in, shaking hands with a whole bunch of people with concred being what it is.
And probably not long after that, he passed away because he had COPD.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can understand why. Hey, at least he was willing to do a web in.
Yep.
That was better than nothing, I think. And it was very protective for him. So
Yeah, because pneumonia on somebody of his age and then having COPD on top of it, it drains a lot of human body resources. So for him to be able to even do that and be able to carry on a conversation, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely. That way he didn't have to go through travel, which is very draining. And,
And another hazard.
yeah, making your way through the crowds and everything else that you have to do at the really big cons, and we all know about the crowd swimming.
Yeah.
I got excused me by Malcolm McDowell once. Crowd swimming.
Claim to fame.
Yeah, it's my one claim to fame. I got excused me by Malcolm McDowell. But I'm glad they were able to do that, and that is another thing you could do if you had guests that wanted to come but couldn't, or you wanted to expand the guest radius, but paying for travel expenses might be a bit beyond. That would be an interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
He's reminded me of the other thing that happened at that fanboy. Was I was standing outside smoking a cigarette, and this dude, he just out of nowhere walks up to, I don't know this guy. Yeah, he looks like Blake, I don't know. This is some dude at a convention. And Blake, you're gonna appreciate that compliment in a minute.
Okay.
And he's just all like, yeah, man, you got the leather vest and the spikes, and and it's real Sid Vicious sort of vibe off of you, man. It's really cool, man. And I'm like, thanks. And he's like, you like some makers? I was like, oh, bourbon? Yes, absolutely, please. And we just sat there and smoked cigarettes and talked for like 15, 20 minutes until finally this girl came out and was all like, dude, you need to get back in there. He's all like, I gotta go back to work, man. It was super cool meeting you, man. And, this is awesome. And I was like, yeah, I figure I should head back in too, because I want to check out the rest of the expo while I'm here. So I started heading back in, and I was like, so what are you a vendor, or because it sounded like you were needed in here? He goes, oh, I'm an actor. I was like, oh, fantastic. What have you been in? And he's like, I'm Leatherface. It was Andrew Baranowski.
Nice.
And that's when I went, that's where I know you from. He goes, you recognize me as Leatherface? I said, no, you played Zangief in Street Fighter. That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
He ended up being super, super cool dude. And it's just really weird when you have those situations where you get to meet a celebrity. You don't even know who it is. You just sit there talking to him, and then you're like, oh, it's that guy. Oh, it's that girl. That's so cool.
Mine was like that with Zach Wild, actually. Yeah, at Ozfest, I worked promotions, and they're like, oh, you can just run around wherever, do whatever after you hand out all these, calendar of events for, 10,000 people. So we finished that up in like 3 hours. So we wandered backstage, and just lo and behold, dude just hanging out, drinking beer, smoking a cigarette. And I sat down beside him and go, hey, what you up to? He goes, I'm about to play a set here in a minute. I'm like, I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you? He goes, Black Label Society. I go, no, never heard of that. Where do I know you from? And he goes, Zach Wild. I'm like, oh, okay. Sorry about that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Great guy. Talks about everything.
I was, we were finishing up at Dragon Con. I was doing security, and we were getting ready to head to the Dead Dog Party, which they were having at a pub down the street. And this guy and his girlfriend, I'm assuming I assumed they were husband and wife, but I wasn't sure, walks up and goes, "Excuse me, do you work for the Dragon Con people?" I go, "Yes, I'm one of their security people." Goes, "Can you tell us where the dead dog party is?" I said, "Sure, it's down there at the pub." I said, turns out it was Tom Savini and his girlfriend.
Oh.
And I was sitting there staring at the guy. And of course, if you've been in the military for a long time and you've done conventions for a long time and you deliver pizza for a long time, all the other things, you recognize a lot of faces. And I kept looking at the guy going, I know him from somewhere. And, and then I get down to the dead dog party and everybody's like, "What's that guy sitting over there in the corner with that girl?" "Well, it's Tom Savini from Night of the Living Dead."
Oh, that's cool. Oh, who was the guy we saw in the hallway? I forget his name.
He's the
Carl.
Battlestar Galactica.
He was the lawyer on Battlestar
Played-
Galactica. Played the Irish guy, and he was on Firefly too. He played the Irish guy, dark-headed kind of.
Played in everything, skunk.
Yeah. He's in like everything. Well, Sunday morning at Dragon Con, like at 9:00, everyone's sleeping it off. So the hallways are empty. Well, Sunday was always our steampunk day. So we were up in full steampunk regalia. We're walking on that skywalk between the Hyatt and the Marriott.
Yep.
And we're coming down. We're the only ones standing there looking up the street. And then all of a sudden this guy comes to the other end and he looks at us. And he looks us up and down just from a distance, and he just kind of smiles and nods at us. Doesn't say a word. And then I curtsy, because I'm wearing the Victorian stuff, and he kind of bows, and we just kind of pass each other and smiling, not a word. And then we looked at him and said, "That's that guy.
That's that guy.
That's that guy.
That's that guy."
He smiled at us.
That's awesome.
We spoke about him before. He was in Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Firefly.
Yeah, he's
in everything.
Mark Shepard.
Yeah, Mark
Shepard.
That's him. He was just super nice. Just a very super nice moment. We didn't say a word. We just kind of nodded at each other like, yeah, we're nerds. We know each other. It was great.
Well, now that I know who you're talking, I didn't like the new Battlestar myself. I'm such a purist for the old series. It's not a bad show. I'm just very much I like my Cylons to be made out of metal, and or chrome plastic. And I didn't get into Firefly. I didn't see the appeal. I thought it was a very boring, unfunny show myself. But I don't hate on anybody who likes it. If you like it, go for it, right? I didn't watch either of those. But I do know Mark Shepard because I'm a big fan of Supernatural, and I first saw him in Burn Notice. Cool little fact. I brought this up on a previous episode, but maybe I figure you guys might appreciate this. Mark Shepard is the son of Morgan Shepard, who played Blanker Edge on Max Headroom.
On Max Headroom.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
yep. And in fact, Morgan Shepard appeared in an episode of I can't remember if it was Torchwood or Doctor Who, but he appeared as Mark Shepard, old Mark Shepard, his character on Doctor Who. Morgan Shepard appeared as him in the future.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, they look that much alike.
That was the one where River Song murdered the Doctor at Lake Silencia.
Once it's pointed out to you, you'll never unsee it. Every time you see him, you're just like, "Oh my god, that's so his dad."
He was the guy. The older Shepard was the guy that showed up with the can of gasoline to get rid of the Doctor's body.
Yep.
If you've seen the episode,
and it was supposed to be the same guy, just years apart.
Yep. And like I said, I can't see it now. Now, every time I see something with Morgan Shepard in it, I'm like, "Oh my god!"
You remember Hawk the Slayer? He played the one-handed guy with the automatic crossbow. Okay, nobody knows Hawk the Slayer.
No.
Okay, well, guess what,
That's
guys?
the reason I am a writer now. The movie Hawk the Slayer is the reason that I am a writer now.
That movie was that bad it turned you off from movies?
It was so bad. I was complaining about it, and we were snowed in at house I was a roommate in Athens, Georgia, and Christy Seeley turned to me and said, "If you think you can do so much better, do it." So I did.
Somebody threw the
Nice.
That
gauntlet.
movie had so many great actors in it. Had Jack Palance.
Jack Palance was chewing scenery like nobody had ever invented scenery before.
I've got to see this.
What's her name from? She played.
Joe can't get inside.
Say something, Joe.
She played Magenta in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Patricia.
Quinn.
Patricia
Quinn.
Patricia Quinn. That's the one. Patricia Quinn played the old blind woman.
Yes.
That
Yep.
Hawk the Slayer.
She was
We
also
have-
in a Doctor Who episode.
We have less than 5 minutes at this point to finish up the show, guys.
And I'd already sent the after show link to everybody. I want to ask KT and TD, if y'all want to come to the after show, all I got to do is hit send. It's ready to go to your email. If y'all want to come in, hang out with us afterwards, you can.
It's just like this, only we don't require shirts.
Oh, yes, you do. I can't take my shirt off in the after show.
Oh, you can't take your shirt off in the after show. I didn't say anything about anybody else. Just
All right,
you.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get on.
Go ahead and send it. If I disappear in the middle of it, forgive me. If I,
Pop tarts and ice cream.
Pop Tarts and ice cream.
I have to do my
Say some
day
for me.
job, so
And Lewis has to wake up in the morning and earn money.
And
Yeah.
well, no, I actually have to
I
make
gotta wait.
money tonight. I have to
Yeah,
send you the news. It's going to be
He
played
has
in the
homework to
morning.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, so now we got to do the business stuff. So, well,
Wrong one.
we'll try it again.
There
All
we
right.
go.
Let's go ahead and get your little banner scrolling across the bottom again.
Guys, it was so good to see and hear you guys again.
Oh, thank you. It's good to see
Let's not
you.
make it as long.
It's been a lot of fun.
It was good to see you. Yeah. So, this was great. Thank you for inviting us.
So let's go ahead.
Anytime.
Let's go ahead and throw some books out. Are they available on Amazon or?
Yeah, they're all available on
Mhm.
Amazon and
Smashwords.
Smashwords. And they're on, because they're on Smashwords and on Amazon, they're available on all of your standard ebook retailers because they're
Feel,
available
feel
internationally.
free to put links to that on the Stupid O'Clock page, please.
If y'all do Facebook, the Stupid O'Clock. Look for this for the crazy clock. Let me find the crazy clock real quick. Sorry, Blake, but I'm gonna cover your face up for a minute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, did that
Okay.
hurt?
Yeah. Look for that Stupid O'Clock. That's our logo. So look for that on Facebook. Like the page. If you got anything going out, feel free to post to it. That's what it's for. And there's also HallowCon pages too. So post. There's 2 HallowCon pages: HallowCon Fantasy Horror and HallowCon just plain HallowCon.
Okay.
Post to that. But go ahead and plug your books real quick. You've got about a minute and a half.
Go.
Okay. So I've got a series called Legacy of Dragons. There's 2 books there: Legacy of Dragons and Legacy of Dragons Emergence and Resurgence. Those are the 2 books in that series. The new book that I really want to push is Guardian Unmasked. It's the fantasy action adventure, and The Queen Gentleman, which is my mid-grade novel that is a strong light fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any guys, if y'all want to ask them any more questions while I'm doing the changeover in the other room?
What
The book's
is
great.
the airspeed of an unladen African swallow?
Oh, see, now
Oh.
you fix it.
Oh, you
That's
did it wrong.
42 miles
You
per
broke
hour.
it.
Wrong.
42.
Broke the joke, man.
You did it wrong.
42.
42.
Was that in miles per hour or kilometers per hour? Ah!
Not.
We fixed it.
What is your name? What?
Now, guys, I've sent you the link, so all you have to do is go in. We start about 5 minutes after this show ends, but I want y'all to hang around for the ending, through the ending, and past the tone, because I'm fixing to bring back some memories. So
We are at the age. Sorry,
Good
had
night,
broken bands
everybody.
earlier.
all right, everybody say good night. Let's bring everybody up where we all get big. Say good night, everybody.
Good
night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night, John Boy.
Come out of the John boy.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face